All right, so I probably watched my last video like 30 times. I think it has like 99 hits right now, and 30 of those are probably me, just to look for anything that I left out. Um, and I did leave some things out. And so the first thing I want to mention is that when I talked about the idea that you need to learn how to swim in order to save someone from drowning, I went off on a different tangent after that, and this is part of what I meant to say, but I didn't actually say. Um, you need to be able to love yourself in order to figure out how to love another person. And in that video, I made it very clear that um, about that, but the thing is that you need to look out for yourself first, ultimately. Now, the thing is, with all this hatred I had in my heart and all the hatred I felt like from everybody else, um, I had no capacity to love myself at all. Zero capacity. And without the ability to even respect myself or love myself, I had no right to think that I knew or thought that I could help another person. It's just not possible. And the thing about these kinds of things is that you need to love other people to love yourself, and you need to love yourself to love other people. Did I say that right? I can't remember. Anyways, it's a mutual thing. Other people need to love you in order for you to love yourself, and you need to love yourself in order to love other people. It's not a one-sided kind of thing. So where am I going to go with this next video to try and clarify my first video? The biggest problems with self-loathing is contradiction, cognitive dissonance, hypocrisy, and projection. Projection is actually probably the hardest one to get over, and it's probably the most fascinating topic. And you will probably, like anybody on this planet, be working on it the rest of your entire life. And beyond. When you stop projecting upon other people in different ways, that's the work. So let me give this as an example. Somebody says I'm an incel, which is an involuntary celibate. That's half true. I mean, in a reality like this, I'm not an involuntary celibate. I do not have sex in negative zero-sum worlds. I do not even want to see people naked in zero-sum worlds, negative zero-sum worlds, because that's the exclusive access problem. And I know that problem when you're having the best time of your life and someone else is being hurt that they can't have that experience is actually causing a lot of problems in the world. Now, in an ultimate sense, I guess you could say I'm an involuntary celibate because the context of this world is not what I would want to choose for my life in general. I bring up sex a lot because most people have sexual orientations, and it's a very deep thing in the human species. I could talk about my apartment or something like that, which makes the analogy accessible to like an asexual or something like that. But basically, the reason I use the sex analogy so much is because I understand it's so important in terms of instinct and biology to people that they can actually understand something like that easier than they can understand other things because it's visceral. Sorry, I have a lot of things to cover here. I'm trying to figure out how to word all this stuff in a very concise way. So basically, This is why I laughed at people who, and I put my hands up and I said, you're all insane. This is why I did that. I have been in this life, and I'm only 44 years old. I have been to tens of thousands of alternate universes. Tens of thousands. I have been to thousands of hell realms. So, you might want to understand that I know what I'm talking about when I say these very simple things to you. The one thing is you have to have a North Star to get through all the chaos, the insanity, the craziness. You have to have a North Star. My North Star is nobody wants their consent violated. That's actually not only true by definition, it's viscerally true. If you viscerally feel like your consent's being violated, that's self-evident. You can't argue with that. And so whenever I'm in a reality and I'm trying to compose myself, as I've switched from alternate universe to alternate universe to alternate universe, to keep myself centered and focused, I look at the situation and go, is my consent being violated? And I look at it and I go, yeah. And then I look around the world, whatever alternate universe I'm in, and I ask myself, is somebody else's consent being violated? And it's pretty simple, yes. Actually, everybody in existence is having their consent violated right now. And so that's my North Star. And my North Star is, okay, if anybody is having their consent violated in any way, shape, or form, A, the job isn't done, and B, you're not God. Very simple. And yeah, I think it's important to add that because I think it's helpful as people navigate the cosmos to have a North Star like that, because it keeps you sane in all the insanity. Because there's a infinite number of beings who want you to think they're God. It's just the nature of kind of the game of ignorance that beings are trying to pull. I've seen stuff that almost any other being in the entire cosmos would say that's God. Without a doubt. They're not. I'm a little bit different than other beings because I have this North Star. And I'm giving you the tools to understand that you have power. You have power. I'm giving you those tools right now as we're speaking. You can go through some absolutely crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. You can see power beyond your comprehension. But when you ultimately come up to a being, let's say it's a genie, or let's say it's somebody who professes to be God, and you go, okay, this is my wish. Everybody gets everything they want at nobody's expense. Very simple wish. Even if you get the 3 wishes, that's only 2 wishes. Very simple wish. Not very complicated. Guess what they do? They make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse that this is the way it should be. And guess what? It's because they can't grant the wish. They cannot grant the wish. You just expose them. They can't grant the wish. Always make that wish. That's the only wish you should ever make. Always make that wish. And you'll figure out what's true and what's false very quickly.